Mom, where's my phone? Julia turned her attention back to her daughter, whose eyes were now as wide as Bree's. Did you check the cart? Cora continued to pat her pockets. I wouldn't have put it in the cart, she said, even as she burrowed through the pile of bedding, clothing, and mementos. The cherished throw pillows were discarded onto the concrete. Julia took out her own phone. We'll track it. It's a new phone, Mom. Her pitch sharpened. She'd gotten the phone from Bree 2 weeks before, and 2 days after Julia mentioned to Eric that she'd planned the same gift. I haven't set that up yet. Julia wanted to reassure her daughter that it was just a phone, but she knew what kind of reaction that would get. So instead, she made a quick mental inventory of all the places they'd visited before getting in line earlier. The library. You were taking photos. With her fingertips, Julia grazed Cora's hand, white-knuckled as she clenched the edge of the cart. Be right back. Julia turned. She took a couple of steps, extending her hand uneasily to part the crowd. The day had started out with such promise, and now a sudden chill shot through her. She'd believed the same thing a few days before her 15th birthday, when she'd found the new pair of sneakers her parents planned to give her. A major haul, considering their financial circumstances. There had even been talk of a cake with cinnamon sprinkles. Then, a day later, her entire universe had shifted. From that experience, Julia had grown to distrust days that were too bright, too happy. Or maybe it wasn't that at all. Maybe her subconscious had already recognized a threat. Her neck tingled a heartbeat before she heard the pop, abrupt and sharp. In the hum of the crowd, the sound was nearly lost. No one screamed, not right away. In those first seconds, the crowd reacted as they would to a dropped soda can or backfiring car. They didn't understand. But Julia understood. She was silent too, but only so she could hear better. She knew from experience that listening was what saved you. That and action. The sound came again. Pop. At last, the crowd began to react, more out of confusion than horror, becoming one clumsy, pulsating knot. Instincts firing ahead of conscious thought. Julia had already grabbed Cora and forced her to the ground. At first, her daughter struggled, as confused as everyone else. But then she went limp as Julia pulled her behind the cart. Prone on the concrete, they were alone. Everyone around them remained upright. No, not alone. The man in the plaid shirt had fallen beside them, eyes closed, hand clutching his stomach. Julia wrapped herself around her daughter. She wedged their bodies against the cart's undercarriage. She held on to it tightly, prayed the crowd wouldn't stampede. Pop, pop, pop. Julia felt Cora's rabbit-fast heartbeat. Good. Her pulse was strong, if too quick. Julia glanced up, tried to find Eric and Bree. There. Both still standing. But how? How was Bree still standing with that hole in her forehead? Blood trickled from it, into eyes grown flat. Slowly, Bree crumpled on top of the man in the plaid shirt. Julia held Cora tighter so she wouldn't see. Then, the screaming began.